Hello, 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 hello. Just realized I have to change my glasses and let me bump up the comments, bump up the comments, bump up the comments. And let's do this. Make goofy faces on the camera like I'm like 4 years old. Love it. Crack myself up. So, good morning. Good morning. I am going to, as we speak, start to download the TikTok live that we just did. And there we go. What we got going on here? Oh, turn that one down. Turn this up. So, people, Becky Ridgway, I love it. Look at you without even asking. Thank you for getting into the routine. And I love that you're using like the little emojis or whatever you call them. So, very cool. So, let me just do this. I'm just going to get it quickly set up. I think you guys will appreciate that, especially those of you who are psyched that today's TikTok live was going to be recorded and put onto the YouTube channel. Is I'm going to start downloading that one right now. There we go. And the neat thing is that I stopped that one a few minutes early, but it was because I got a message from the basement guy, and things are going to progress. So here we are. We got a whole either another hour to hang out together and learn about decluttering and ideally put it into practice to take some action. Or maybe you just are showing up for this first one. Maybe you found me just swimming by on YouTube. So, Becky, since you're in the comments, how can I help you today? What would you like? You've got me one-on-one right now. Like you can, what's a question? What can I help you with? I say specifically, but like what's your clutter sitch? What would you like some help on? Because the people who show up, and this is a life lesson, the people who show up are the ones who get closer to what they want. People who are not tuning in today at all do not get declutter advice that's tailored to them. People who don't show up, like for whatever reason, but when you show up, like this is one of the things I'll share with you too, is the declutter parties that we've been doing basically since December. The people who have been showing up for those are the ones that have gotten the schedule of the declutter parties tailored to them, saying, you know what would help me is if you did some on Mondays. Hey, you know what would help me is if you did some on Thursdays. Oh, Sundays don't work for me, but could you do it earlier on a Saturday? Because I want to go out and play because it's the summer. Okay. So there we go. Kelly Smith, nice to see you. And McDugg's. Hi, June. Yes. Bunny, bunny, bunny. Happy 1st of June. Okay. Becky, I love this. Scrapbooking items. You are so scrapbooking, I think was a trend. I think scrapbooking was a trend, and you can tell by the amount of scrapbooking products. But notice the guilt of not doing it. Now, I know what it's like to feel guilty, to feel not good about doing something you bought a lot of equipment for. That's why, even honestly, our camper, we should not have bought a camper. We did. We've made the good use of it, but we are not campers. We do camping people. So I offer to you, you're supposed to do scrapbooking is supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. Now, that I think was originally, I think of the guy, one of the Ben or Jerry said that, but if it's not fun, it's okay to not do it, especially a hobby. There's some things that are not fun and you have to do it, like go to the dentist or organize your tax paperwork. A, a hobby is supposed to bring enjoyment to your life. And if it isn't done, so the neat thing is, Becky, I love this. So, oh, there we go. Oh yeah. That's if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Make your mind up. If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Make it. Yeah, Badfinger. They were on Apple, and McCartney wrote some songs for them. But I love it. There's a bunch of Come and Get It songs. Yeah, mine is going to be Gene Loves Jezebel, and I'm going to have to listen to it and be like, oh, why is that still in my brain? Okay, so Becky, this is cool, though. This is cool. I printed hundreds of photos. Now they're just in boxes. Now, I'll be honest with you. What's wrong with having the photos just in boxes? I like to go through a box of photos. I see no necessity to do anything other than having my photos in boxes to go flip through them and flip them over and see what year they were and who the people were. I know you intended to do more things with it, but could it be okay for you to just have, instead of just having them in boxes and they're not in a thing, be like, I'm fine with them just being in boxes, and let go of the guilt of not doing what you thought you were going to do them. It was just a thought. If that thought still doesn't bring you joy now, you can stop it. Now, I will offer to you, Becky, I love going through old stuff and I love going through old photos. And I prefer being able to pick them up individually and flip them over and see what somebody wrote on them. But please write the stuff on the back, the year, who the people were, all that stuff. I have taken photos out of albums so that it's easier to do that and it's easier to scan them. It's a smaller way of storing them, so it takes up less space. So there are many advantages to having them in boxes. So I'm kind of team photos in boxes versus team scrapbook in general. Never mind doing the scrapbooking. I mean, who doesn't love looking through a good scrapbook? But here's what happened to me. So maybe this will help you, Becky. I bought all the stuff to do all the crafts and be the crafty person I thought I was. And I used to say, if I only had the time, I would do it. But then I noticed this. Even when I had the time, I was not running to do that scrapbook. I was not eagerly doing that. So here's the thing that helped me is I said to myself, okay, so when I do have free time, I'm not being crafty even when I have the time. So it's not the time. It could be something else. But instead, I say, what am I doing with the free time I do have? What's the thing I am running towards that I'm excited to do, that I can't wait to do with my free time that's stopping me from decluttering? And what I noticed was one of the things I loved doing with my free time, and I was doing it, was hopping in my car and going out and taking pictures of old places and going, and granted I was thrifting, I won't deny, but I would drive around and find like old signs and old buildings and discover little downtown areas and small towns and take pictures and share them with people. And I loved doing that. I could not wait for a Saturday off and to hop in the car and do that. And so I noticed that. And I let myself go. I said, I'm not going to be crafty that way, but this is how I enjoy spending my time. And you know what came out of that? I'm not saying you have to do anything other than enjoy it. Where are we? I started a website. I wrote books, all about that stuff that I love doing. Then that stopped being fun, I winded that down. I wound that down too. Okay? So I offer to all of you, to everything turn, 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 like the bird said. There are seasons in your life. There are trends. There are things that brought you joy and then they didn't so much. Okay? There are things that you thought you were going to do. And then when it comes to doing it, you're like, I don't know if I want to do it so much. Now, you can go in deeply. Like, I know myself, like, I realized that I did not enjoy the process of crafting unless I definitely wanted the result. And even here's the funny thing about me, I will just share from my personal experience. I would see something out there. I would see somebody had made something, and I say, "Oh, I like that." And part of me who thinks I'm smart and crafty or whatever, I could do that. I'm not going to pay that money. I could make that myself. Oh, I think we just got somebody at the door. What a morning, huh? So busy, and it's Sunday. So I would accumulate the items to do the craft. Then I know pretty much I struggled with the learning curve, how to do it. And I realized I did not want to do this on a big scale. I just wanted the one, the thing that comes to mind is a wreath made of old vintage Christmas ornaments. I just wanted the end result. I didn't want to look at it and see all the flaws and what I had done. That would bug me. So I realized at a certain point I didn't want to do the process. I just wanted the end result. So you know what I did? I went back to the person who had the wreaths that I saw and I bought one from her. Somebody who loved doing the crafting. You could see there was love in it. She did a great job. It's funny because at the time that woman did it, I looked back on what I bought that wreath for. Today, it feels like pennies on the dollar because every time I bring it out, it brings me joy. Yeah. So, um, okay. Therapy Gal Sue says, I call it my fantasy self. My fantasy self buys clothes I never wear, does hobbies I don't do, and buys self help books I don't read. I watch out for her now and laugh as I declutter her stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But you know who's really laughing and having fun is the awesome Sue that we know. The Sue who's learning, who's, you know what, who doesn't want to play pretend and dress up? Who doesn't want to try on a life to see how it fits? You know, I, many of us do that. It's okay. Who am I? I don't know. Maybe I'm this person. Maybe I'm crafty. Maybe I wear this kind of clothes. How would it feel to wear those kind of clothes? Oh, I tried it. No, that's not me. I am more comfortable doing this. So learn from what you do and learn from what you don't do. Now, one self-help book I would highly recommend, Therapy Gal Sue, even more so than the first one, because it's the second one that she wrote that really changed my life. There's a book out there that's called You Are a Badass at Making Money. The woman who wrote it, her name is Jen Sincero. It's like sincerely, like Sincero. And it changed my life. It really did. If it weren't for that book, I would not be in front of you today. Now, I don't say this to sell books for her. She has made like her whole thing is now she's got a whole, much like when I did like Retro Roadmap, but that one was really helpful to me. But I say before you buy it, maybe you take it out of the library. If you don't want to read it, they probably have it on books on tape. But yeah, I went clothing shopping yesterday. I'm walking through Macy's. Am I I'm not that kind of person. Am I this kind of person? Does that kind of dress look good on my body now that I have no estrogen and my skin looks like crepe paper? So we're always asking, who am I? And am I this? Am I that? Be happy with who you are. And the stuff that you're not happy about, experiment with it and try to change it. Yeah. It really is a great book. I will share with you because she started with the book called You Are a Badass, which was like a general one. That was like I read it after I read the second one, but I really loved how because this would help too with decluttering everybody. Do not underestimate how your relationship with money impacts the amount of stuff you keep in your house. Mic drop moment. You have a relationship with money, how you think about money, how money makes you feel, how you think about money makes you feel, and what you do with that money. I can't let go of that. I spent so much money on that scrapbooking, um, uh, uh, crafty items. I spent a lot of money on that. I can't just give it away. Well, why not? You're not using it. It's just sitting there. And every time you sit and look at it, you feel bad. Why can't I just give something away that I paid money? Why is it just giving it away? Why can't it be giving away? I'm giving away something that is not working for me. I'm sharing my abundance. There's somebody out there who's less fortunate than me that can't afford to buy these scrapbooking items full price. I am allowing somebody who's not as monetarily fortunate as me to get into scrapbooking. Maybe they've always wanted to, but they couldn't afford it. I am helping somebody that I don't even know by donating these things that are just taking up room in my house. Notice. So I highly recommend the book to anybody. You are a badass at making money, even if you don't feel like making money. But notice you have a relationship with money and it can affect your clutter. Boy, howdy, I know what that's like because I grew up with not a lot of money. And then we got some money. And I grew up with generations of people. I mean, my people came over on the potato boats. My people came over to America for a better life. They did not have a lot of money. They did not come over on yachts and were kings. Very few people do that. Many of us, at least the people I hang out with, And even then, even if you have a ton of money, I went and donated stuff yesterday at a different Goodwill. I donated at a Goodwill in a fancy part of another town. There was a woman in front of me. Oh my God, her entire big white SUV was laden with stuff that she was just giving away. And part of me was like, wow, she's giving away a lot of good stuff. Again, notice. It's really interesting to notice the things that cause you to take action. Like right now, I've been talking for a while and my throat is a little bit scratchy. So I'm going to take a sip of tea. And it's not that hot, so I can gulp it. It's like instead of, what's funny? Tea. You've got hot tea and you've got iced tea. Tepid tea is kind of on the fence. So, good morning, Mosey. I'm glad you're digging what I'm doing. But here's the great thing, you guys. This is the thing I love about the YouTube lives. Substantially fewer people show up to them. Yeah, yeah. Other people have bailed. They've got stuff to do. That's cool. I do not. What's the word I want to use? Fault them. I do not judge them for that. But we're here now. It is live. You've got me and only 23 other people. What can I help you with? What can I help you with? When you look at your decluttering journey, where has it stopped? Where is there a roadblock in front of you? And I'm here to remove it. Pretend I'm AAA. Hey, I'm stuck here. Okay, meet me here. This is where I am stuck. Put it in the comments and I can help you with it. The neat thing is, I will share with you that I have found through literally 300, 700, 800, 600 hours plus, almost 1,000 hours of doing nothing but thinking about and talking about clutter, that when you have a question about something clutter wise, when you have a roadblock, it's probably a roadblock for somebody else too. Now, maybe not somebody on this YouTube live, but as you remember, these YouTube lives and TikTok lives are uploaded to YouTube. So people you may never know, you may have helped somebody you don't even know just by asking a question. Yeah. Now I love this. Kelly Smith says, I use the method, how long did it take? There's that woman, what's her name? I said her name the other day. One of those, Christy something or other on TikTok. I freaking love that. How long did it take to install my attic stair cover? It took 40 minutes. How long did it take me? Because I set my timer. How long did it take me to make our bedroom look better yesterday? Took me about 20 minutes. I love it. So that's a good method you're using. So use it for continue to use it. If it's working, continue to use it. And thank you for bringing that to our attention so that people here can be like, oh, I might want to try that. And people who are going to watch this sometime in the future. Now, Jazzy Girl 24 100, stuck. I'm stuck with boxes that are full of just paper and crap. So if they're just papers and they're literal crap like dog poop, can you just throw them? Can you throw them in the trash? Can you throw them in the trash? Is the answer yes? Then throw them in the trash. If the answer is no, then I ask you with curiosity, not judgment. Curiosity opens us up, judgment shuts us down. Why not? Is it just paper? Is it just crap? Are you afraid that there's some good stuff in the box? Now, notice you said boxes. Let's start with one box because what we do here too is we chunk stuff down. So if you're stuck with it, okay, no, memories possibly. Now, here's the thing that I love. You have a mystery box in front of you. You have boxes, but you're going to start with one box. That's how you can only do it. You can't even open up more than one box at a time because you only have two hands. So you don't even know, and it's possible. So you don't even know. I know this is going to sound overly simplistic. And I'm here to walk you through it because I know that there are multiple baby steps through this whole process. If you don't know what's in a box, how can you find out what is in one of those boxes? Well, you could make a decision to take one of those boxes and open it up. If you don't know what's in it, open it up. Just one box, not all of them, but this is how it starts. Chunk it down. If you don't know, how can you find out what's in a box? You can find out if you want to. You can open up a box and There we go. I will do one box today. Okay, let me help you because do is a small two-letter verb with a whole bunch of steps behind it. So I want to help you with that. So you may have a process, Jazzy Girl, and I got to say, I love the little flowers on your little circle there. Very, very cheery. I love those. Um, Jazzy Girl says, I will do one box today. Now, is how you do a box, does that does that give you the result you want? So if I were to, let's say you didn't even know how to do a box, go through a box of stuff that you don't know. Let's pretend you don't even know how to do it, and I will give you what I would kind of be like the instructions, okay? Because your process may work for you, great, but if not, my process may help you too, okay? When you say I will do one box, I'm assuming you're going to do the following. I am going to open up a box. I'm going to see what's in it. And then I am going to, because everything's probably crammed in a box, and a box is what we would call stored clutter. We've got surface clutter, we've got stored clutter. You have clutter stored in a box because clutter is stuff you don't know about. So I would highly recommend before you even start that, create a surface that you can declutter on. A table, a floor. I'm always sitting down on the floor dumping stuff out because the floor is clean and sometimes my surfaces are not. Dumping out the box. And then before you start going deep and start reading the things, I want you to start very kind of high level. And what I would like, this is how I would do it, is categorize things. And however the categories are. So, oh, look, oh, I have some like leftover, those are old bills that I paid. Oh, those are love notes from my boo-boo. Oh, look, those are receipts from stuff that I already bought that I can't even return. Here's another category of paper. Okay. Yeah. I have to clear off my table first. I love that. So clear off a surface that you feel comfortable working on. Then dump out the box and then categorize it. Now, the reason I mention these specific little things is like, notice, do is like, I'm going to just do a box. Now, you may know your things. I used to work in process engineering, which really is just noticing all the different tiny steps that we go through in order to do something. So I like to make them visible because sometimes people say, I don't know what to do. Here's a step. You can clear a surface. You can open a box. You can pick a box. You can open it. You can empty it. Each one of those is actions. When you empty it and you categorize your paper, what that is doing is helping your brain because your brain has a finite amount of energy to make decisions about your stuff. It is like a gas tank and you don't have great gas mileage on it. So it will empty out with every decision. The way you can get maximum fuel efficiency with the fuel of decision making in your brain is to categorize your stuff so that you can make a decision on the entire category as opposed to using it making decisions on every single piece of paper. Now, even within that category, you may make decisions on every single piece of paper, or sometimes you realize that's a whole category that can go right in the recycle bin. Does that make sense? Now, again, what you're going to find once you open up that box and you categorize it is those categories will probably fall into the categories of clutter, which are surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. So it may be receipts. There's going to be the categories that are going to be more easy to go through and some that are going to be a little bit more challenging. That's usually the sentimental stuff, the love notes from your boo-boo. Okay. Now this is a good thing. Jazzy Girl is thinking, I think quite a bit is probably garbage. Yay. Yay. Now do not beat yourself up about why you boxed up garbage and haven't looked at it. Get curious about it though. Notice who you were, notice what was going on, the context of how that stuff got into the box, and just notice it. The cool thing is, honest to God, is if you get to boxes and it's just a bunch of crap, that is so easy. You just donate, you just recycle, you just put it in the trash and you're done. When you do that, though, you may come across some sentimental items. Sentimental items are the deepest level of clutter, and they're the things that may take you more time and thought and energy to, what do you call it? Totally just fell off the tree right there. Totally to make a decision that feels good to you. But the great thing is notice your destination wasn't deal with all this box today. And I should back it up. You just don't even know what's in the box. So I'm going to find out what's in the box. And now you found out. Now you have substantially less clutter, and now you know that you have a smaller amount of sentimental items. There we go. Now, Jazzy Girl has already reflected, looked in the rearview mirror, says, I know why those boxes are the way they are. Because back when I started those boxes, a lot of bad stuff has happened in the past few years and everything just stopped. But feeling way better now and working on clearing out everything. Yeah. Awesome. I love that. When you feel better, you will do better and notice what you're feeling now is doing better. And the wonderful thing is some of those boxes probably have evidence of when your life wasn't doing so good. It is a wonderful feeling to get rid of that stuff. The physical evidence of when things weren't going good. It can feel cathartic. I'm sure there's a fancy word, but it can feel good to let go of the stuff that reminds you of when you weren't feeling so good. So, yay for you for feeling better, and yay for you for wanting to declutter. If you need any other help with this, I do one on one paid coaching. I just offer that to let you know that it's something I do. But I also do these YouTube lives and TikTok lives pretty much every day except for when I don't. And there is a schedule of these. Okay. Becky has also given you got this, and as am I. As am I. You got this. Okay. Yeah. And here, the other thing too, I want to help you with, Jazzy Girl, and this is very subtle but important things. The words you choose cause you to feel feelings, and the feelings cause you, and the words and feelings cause you to do something or not do something in every area of your life. But let's just start small and simple with clutter. So I love it. And notice how you used a lot. I've done a lot already, but still a lot to do. And you thank me a lot. What I want to offer to you is focus on what you've done already to remind yourself of your strength and power. Instead of focusing on all the miles ahead, keep on focusing on what you've done in the past and what you can do just right ahead of you, what's in front of your nose. Nose down, focus down, just keep on going. Because if you start to look ahead too much and you see a lot ahead of you, you might feel overwhelmed, and that also may have you stopping. Okay. So just really, it is crazy. And I do this myself. You will hear me course correcting my own words that sounded good in my head. And as they come out, I'm like, no, I want to use a better word, a more helpful word than superlatives. Everything. I want to do it all. I'm going to get the whole house done. No, I'm going to get some done and I'm going to feel better. Even if I don't get it all done, I'm going to be happy with what I got done and I'm going to feel better, even having done half a box of stuff. That's more than I did yesterday. And I'm going to feel good about what I did and not beat myself up about what I didn't do. I know more now than I did back then. I'm going to do better now. Okay. So, everybody, again, notice Jazzy Girl is sharing what's going on with her, but it brings up a lesson that is valuable for all of us. Notice the words you use to talk to yourself in your head, and notice that the ones that come out of your mouth, how do they make you feel? Oh, look at me. I'm using my fat Flintstone fingers for this. Oh, I'm so clumsy. Um, Man, look at how crepe papery my skin is. Now, I said that on the last TikTok live, or maybe it was earlier today. I don't know. I've been talking about clutter, but I say mine with a smile. I do. I'm not really beating myself up, but I am kind of feeling like, wow, I am not as young and firm as I used to be. But my skin's never been great, but at least it holds in my organs. Could you imagine if I didn't have skin? So notice, even me right now complaining about how my skin looks, it still functions. I still have it. Some people don't have skin at all. They have to get skin grafts. Some people's skin looks much worse than me. Be grateful for what you have. If you are right here watching me live on TikTok or YouTube, you have the time to watch me on TikTok, YouTube. You have the time, you have the electricity, you have the cell connection, whatever, to watch YouTube. You have the luxury of time to do this. Yay. Yay. I don't say that so you feel bad. I say be grateful for what you have. And if you are struggling with clutter, you are struggling with abundance. And it's just the wrong kind of abundance for you. You can feel abundant in your life. You are already abundant, but what you did was you've got stuff in your house, an abundance of stuff, and some of the stuff you have makes you not feel good. It's the wrong stuff. So I just remind you of that. If you have clutter, consider yourself lucky because there are some people out there who are scraping by who don't have anything. Here's a phrase from my family: they don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But just because other people have less than you doesn't mean you need to hang on to what you have that doesn't serve you. It doesn't help them if you are keeping stuff that you don't want in your house. That doesn't help anybody else. They can't get access to it if you want to donate it, like scrapbook supplies. And it doesn't help anybody else when you feel crappy, including yourself. My goodness, who wants to feel crappy? Life is too short. This is really funny. I will share with you guys. My cell phone is right down here, and I have the earlier TikTok live on the screen because it's downloading and it takes a while. It was very meta. I just picked up my teacup to drink, and in the video, I had done that at the same time. The stars align. So, Jazzy Girl, I hope what I explain, kind of some of the stuff that I like to talk about and share with you, I hope that helped you. If you are interested in when I'm doing another TikTok live or YouTube live, yeah, synchronicity, exactly. I totally believe in synchronicity and not just the album by the Police. So cool. Use what I taught you to go through one box. Notice though, notice some things may bring up feelings. That is okay. Notice I even say bring up feelings because a lot of us, one of the downs that doesn't fit in my, calm down is tamping down your emotions, is stomping down and suppressing your feelings. You may feel some feelings when you're going through a box of stuff you don't know about. That's okay. It is okay to feel feelings. Feelings are making sure they are the evidence that we are alive, that you're not a robot, that you're not a zombie, that you have life in you, and you're a human being with feelings. Watch out for the human beings without feelings. That's how we run into problems. But also notice if you're afraid of feeling feelings, that's okay. A lot of us are afraid of feeling feelings of hurt, of pain. But when you do things to avoid them, you're also avoiding opening up a box and finding a card from a friend that you forgot about. You're also, off, if you're shutting yourself off from the feelings, you're dampening your ability to feel joy. It's okay if you're afraid. It is. Fear stops us, but love gets us going. And you're feeling better and you're loving yourself. So even walk in that box. And sometimes you can open a box and be like, whoa, this is too intense. This is all feelings. It's okay to shut the lid on that box, the lid, like, kind of fold up the paper. But now you know what's in that box. And then you label it to yourself. Sentimental objects. And please, 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 as James Brown would say, put a date on the stuff you've gone through. Put a date on it. So you know that on June 1st of 2025, you went through that box and then all June 25, all that's left in here is sentimental items. June 25, couldn't deal. We'll try again later. Because here's the great thing about decluttering. Decluttering is a process. Decluttering is a muscle. The muscle of deciding. Okay? Deciding what you want and deciding what you don't. Now, if you haven't done this before, your muscles may be weak. So do as much as you can. Do not overexert yourself, just like going to the gym. If you had never used those muscles before, start with the light weights. Start simply, but at least start. Do what you can do. Notice when you're starting of the feeling of starting to feel fatigued and overwhelmed. Calm down, slow down, drink some water. And if you feel like you can go on, do it. If not, you've made some progress because you opened that box. And even just seeing if you can take one thing out and do something different. Break the spell of the closed box. The mystery box has got a spell on you. I don't know what's in there. I'm afraid of what's in the mystery box. I'm afraid that it's going to be something awful. What if it's filled with cash? What if it's filled with something that you forgot you owned that you could sell for money? What if it's filled with something you've been looking for forever and oh my God, that's where it is? Do not let fear stop you. Acknowledge the fear, get curious about what you're specifically afraid of, which is usually going to be pain, and notice that. But notice too that there's probably a lot of stuff in that box that's not even going to register on your emotional nervous system scale. It's going to be like, oh, look, it's a receipt from Macy's for those pants that I've been wearing for 5 years. I can totally just throw that away, right? It is so great when you allow yourself to feel the range of feelings, but for the most part, you save your dramatic feelings for the feelings of love and care and truly the things that are most important. Not caring about what's not important can really give you strength so that you have energy for what is important. And what's important is you and you're feeling good because when you feel good, you do good. And your do good when you feel good does not just stay in your yard, there's a positive ripple effect. Okay. Now, Becky says, while working on decluttering the basement, I know my tank is getting low because I will literally start walking in circles from item to item and not making headway. That's when you stop. Yes. Put a roadblock up. We talked about dismantling roadblocks when you're stuck. Other times, put up a stop sign. Notice one of the telltale signs of me feeling done, my gas tank is when I'm spinning my wheels, when I'm walking in circles, when I'm just going in a cyclone. When you notice that, then you can stop walking in a cycle. Yeah, and it's okay. And notice when I'm working from item to item, and I love the word you used, not making headway. Headway. You know why? Because your decision maker is done. Here's a fun thing. This totally just popped up in my head, so I'll share it with you. It's like every time you make a decision, it's like a Pez dispenser filled with decision making energy. Every time you make a decision, you take one of those little tabs out, right? At a certain point, your Pez dispenser of decision making energy is going to be empty. And no matter how much you click it, nothing's going to come out. When you find yourself in that place, notice it and stop clicking your Pez dispenser. That's when you start and you pull away, and then you do something to refill your tank, to refill your Pez dispenser. And here's a funny but important difference I want to remind you of is refilling let me see if this is working. Refilling your physical energy and emotional energy tanks takes longer than it does than for you to put another pack of Pez in a dispenser or to fill your gas tank with gas. I noticed this when I rented a car in Palm Springs recently, and I rented the mystery car, and the mystery car was an electric car. That you refilling your tank is more like charging an electric vehicle on one of those trickle chargers versus the high energy ones. Please don't think that you can easily, quickly fill up your tank. Sometimes it may happen. Maybe get a burst of energy from caffeine or something, but your body is going to fill its tank at a level that feels right. So honor that and be patient with that process because it's good to feel like you have a full tank, but sometimes it will take a while. So don't get frustrated with yourself. Do not judge yourself if it takes you longer to do things than it used to. Hello, aging. Don't judge yourself poorly if you get tired more soon than you used to. It's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Start loving yourself now. If you love yourself, continue the process. If you don't, let's start today. Because loving yourself, who you are now, who you were in the past, and who you are going to be, is where all the good stuff happens. Here's a funny thing. I'll just riff on this for a minute because it's a fuzzy thought, and I thought if I articulate it, it might have value. Beings that it's not a phrase I use. It is Sunday. A lot of people go to church on Sunday, and I grew up Catholic, so I'm familiar with the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of the Father, because I grew up in Boston, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit. I think we called it the Holy Ghost, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Whatever. It's been a wicked long time since I've been to church. But think about it. The Father, the Son, the Father is the past. The Son is the present, and the future is the Holy Spirit, something like that. So you have all those three inside you. You have your past, you have your present right now, you and me both right here, Sunday, June 1st at whatever, 10:41, and then you have the future, June 1st at 11:01 a.m. is the future. Love all of your stuff. Now, Mosey says, what is your feel like that before you get much done? I'm not understanding quite what you're asking. If you can phrase it differently, that might help get me some clarity. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. What is your feel like that before you get much done? I'll even riff on that while you're maybe clarifying it a little bit. Here's something really simple that might help. Instead of the words "I can't do it," "I don't know," making you feel like I can't do it, I don't know, I stop. I say to myself instead, I'm sure I can figure this out. I can do this. No big deal. I do know what to do. I'm sure I can figure this out. I can do this. I can figure this out. And then notice how that feels. I can do this. This is no big deal. Notice different words cause you to feel different. Either wah wah, can't do it, don't know, I'm going to believe these. And when I believe these, I don't do anything. But you know what? I can figure this out. This is not a big deal. And destination, I know I'm going to feel better after I do this. I could have easily gotten overwhelmed by the dust bunnies and the laundry in my bedroom yesterday, but I knew I would feel better when I even just started. I knew I would like the result better if I just started. I set my timer and I said, I can do this. This is no big deal. This is no big deal. Notice when you make it a big deal, you'll think it's a big deal and you may stop. It's an overwhelm. This is not a big deal. I can do this. 2 sentences. Try them on for size. Go into the dressing room, try them on, experiment with yourself, and see how it feels. Now, Mel B, who might have been part of the Spice Girls, I don't know, is saying, I am a clutter conqueror. I'm going to conquer my clutter. Now, those words may work for Melanie B. That's awesome. I am a lover, not a fighter. So I like to look at things as I'm a little bit more low key than that. What works for me is not I'm going to conquer it like clutter is my enemy, because clutter is stuff that at some point I thought I wanted. I'm not going to go to war with my clutter. I'm going to notice it as an evidence of something in my life in the past. Why did I buy this? Well, I thought we were going to cook more rice than we did. Did we end up cooking as much rice and using the rice cooker for all those things that they say it's supposed to be good for? No. I had an idea of something I thought might make my life better, and I brought that thing into my life, and I experimented with it. When it works, I keep it and use it at a frequency that feels good to me, that justifies me keeping it. Sometimes it works, and that's what happens. Yay. But sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you see something out there and you bring it into your life and you experiment with it and it doesn't work out. Dating, people, dating. The sooner you realize that that thing isn't working out for you, the best you can do for yourself and that thing is to say, hey, thank you, but no. I am realizing already that this is not working out for me. So the best I can do is donate this rice cooker or break up with this person so they can go find a home that truly appreciates them. The sooner you realize you don't want something and the sooner you get it out of your life and you tighten up that process, the better you will feel. Right now, you have things that you've held on to for decades that you still are might be afraid to make a decision on. Well, you can still make a decision. And tightening up that decision-making process means you're getting to know yourself better. Okay. Now, Mel B says, a lot of our clutter is stuff that belongs to deceased family members and hoarding family members. Whew, that's a lot. We took on too much trying to help others, and I get stuck with not much done. Okay, so notice how you got to where you are. Like before, see, this is the road trip in front of us. Like we are right here. Where's my head? This is backwards to me. We are right here today. Now, prior to today is how we got here. So notice how you got here. Okay, this is how I got into this mess. How am I going to get out of this mess? Okay, so what I would say, and I just realized I cross pollinated here, we took on too much trying to help others. Notice that. That's okay. Look at you. You are a person trying to help others. Now it's time for you to use your power of help for yourself. Yeah. Yeah. And you know that the thing that's going to help you right now is honestly is having conversations with yourself saying, "Okay, this is not my stuff. Do I want anything? What do I want?" Not a greedy, not a selfish, an imperative question. You ask it a lot all the time. Do you listen to your answers? Looking at, and here we're going to chunk it down. Stuff that belongs to deceased family members. Here's mom's stuff, here's dad's stuff, here's my sister's stuff. Do I want any of their stuff? Mom's stuff. We're even chunking it down. Do I want any of her stuff? And let me help you with this. Mel B, the answer can be no, because it's not your stuff to begin with. It was theirs. It brought them joy. Does it bring you joy? If it truly does and you want it and you're psyched about it, sure, keep it. Do not do not burden yourself with stuff you don't like. You are allowed to let go of things even if they belonged to somebody who you loved that has died. Let me repeat that. You are allowed to. You are not a bad person if you give away things that once belonged to somebody who is dead now. Easy to say, maybe not so easy to do, but you deserve to live a life you love. Yeah. And the life you love has a certain quantity and quality of stuff you have in it. Now, Lady Bandit says that's the hardest part. I think the hardest part is, yeah, because there's probably a lot of way too much, frankly, stuff from previous generations that we have inherited. Because honestly, do not underestimate, much like I was talking earlier about the relationship between our relationship with money and our clutter, the relationship with technology and clutter, the relationship with how our society evolved and created that manufacturing boom that caused previous generations to have a lot more stuff to then dump on us. But again, the saving grace will be telling yourself it's okay to let go of stuff that was important to other generations. It doesn't mean you don't love them and appreciate them. You can take a digital picture of that item. You don't need to keep the item. If you keep an item, that's totally okay too, but make sure it lights you up as opposed to weighs you down. You are allowed to say no to things you do not want. You are allowed to say, I am cleaning out my mother's house, but that stuff is going directly to a charity. It is not coming to my house. Mosey, I hoped what you learned. You have to go. I've got about 11 minutes now myself. I hope that helped. And I'm glad that helped. And this will be recorded. And this will be one of the two, by 2 o'clock today, one of the two videos that will start out the June playlist on YouTube. There'll be the TikTok from earlier and this one today. So if this is hitting home and you want to re-listen to it some other time, like a podcast, you can totally do that. Destination Decluttered um, on YouTube, and here we are right now. Okay. Um, Notice though, you can tell yourself a story that keeps you stuck with stuff you don't want. You can also rewrite that story, tell yourself a different story that may make it feel easier to release the things that you do not want without feeling like you're going to be haunted by ghosts. Here's how I look at this. So I'll share this with you. Becky is asking actually the name of the book you recommended. It's called "You Are a Badass at Making Money" by Jen Sincero. It has a green color, green like money. Okay. Um, I would send you the Amazon link, but I don't want you to buy it on Amazon. Get it out of the library. Listen to it on a books on tape. Experiment with it before you purchase it. You don't have to buy it to read it. Another decluttering lesson. If you like it enough that you want a copy so you can read it and reread it and mark it up, buy a copy. But don't just go out and buy something. Okay? I love that Becky's saying I'm going to listen to it. Great. We don't want to add to your clutter because it might not stick. I have bought books like self-help books and books of all kinds that after I've bought them, I'm like, this isn't really doing it for me. I should have got out of the library first. Use Libby. Yes, exactly. Use Libby. Libby, Libby, Libby on your label, label, label. You would love it, love it, love it on your table, table, table. Okay, good stuff. But notice how it always comes back to the same thing. Paying attention to yourself, paying attention to yourself. What do I want? And listening for your answer. I want to live in a home that feels good to me. I don't want to live in a hoarder house. Two of the same things. Notice what I want can also be comprised of what I don't want. So what is not a hoarder house? I want to live in a house that is clean and spacious and fresh and calm and organized and makes me smile. And when I look around, I love what I see. That's what I'm aiming for. Now, right now, is my home that way? No. Right outside this door, right in this corner right here, I've got crap all around the place because we are making the basement look better. But that is temporary. Everything is temporary. Not to get all Buddhist on your asses on a Sunday. Everything is temporary. Joy, pain, sunshine, rain, joy, and pain, and sunshine, and rain. Here we go. Here we go. All of it's temporary. So embrace the good. Be patient. Know that this too shall pass. And do what you can so that when you go to bed tonight on the end of June 1st of 2025, you're feeling good about what you did and you're forgiving yourself your trespasses. You're feeling okay with what you didn't do. And you wake up tomorrow and you lather, rinse, and repeat. What can I do that's going to make me feel better? Every day, do a little bit that's going to make you feel good, that's going to make you feel better. And part of that, if you have clutter, is not running away from your clutter, but stopping and turning around and dealing with it, a box at a time, a shelf at a time, a drawer at a time. Not all of it. Can't get it all done. Kind of like weight loss. You didn't gain it in a day. You're not going to lose it in a day. But you can start making decisions about the stuff you already own and the stuff you don't even own yet. Whether it's stuff in stores of both the bricks and mortar and virtual kind, or whether it's stuff in the homes of people you're related to that you look down the line and see that stuff may be, sorry, there was a bug. That stuff may be coming down the pipeline to me. How can I divert that pipeline? Because if I don't want her stuff in my house, what can I do now to make a plan to divert that so it doesn't come to my house? Because it's not coming to my house. And then write that stuff down. Excuse me. Yeah, and is that Rob Bass, Joy and Pain? Yeah. But notice it all comes back to you. We can't change anybody else, but you can change yourself and you can lead by example. You can instruct people who are like, how did you get that way? I'd be happy to tell you. Okay. Lady Bandit says, do you like any of the other badass books? I do, but I'll share with you candidly. And I would probably say this to Jen Sincero herself, who I've met before. She's awesome. She has changed my life. And I look at her path and that helped me decide my path. So the second one is the badass at making money. The first one is the most general, which is the yellow one. You are a badass in general. So that is a great book too. The subsequent books, here's a funny thing. I think one has a purple cover, one has a blue cover. Now, I bought them because I was a fan. Each subsequent book to me hits home less powerfully than the first two. And I think it's because the first two were like, like, oh my God, like I can't even, what's that thing? Like an inspiration, like light dawns on marble head, as we would say in Massachusetts. The second ones seemed like riffs on the same thing. They may resonate with you more than others, but what I also saw, frankly, was the framework behind it. When you are, when you are signed to a publishing deal, you are required to generate a number of books, if, or a number of songs or something. You are required to, even if you have nothing new to say, you still need to fill out some books. So I highly recommend the first two books myself. I also have, literally, she has a calendar here. It's a You Are Badass calendar. Today, friends don't let friends forget their badassery. I love how she plays with words. So I'm here to remind you, friend, to not forget what a badass you are. Okay. A friend of mine gave me this too, and this is, you got to be careful, as everybody knows, when people start to notice you collect stuff. A friend of mine knew how much I liked these books, and then she said, "Oh, I saw this badass thing, and I thought of you." Now this is goofy. I'll share it with you. This is the stuff, and again, creating merch, and you hit it, and it gives you a mystery saying. Where's my camera?
Do what you love.
A little inspirational thing. It's got,
You create your reality.
Yeah. So be careful when you let people know what you collect, because they may, with love and thinking of you, give it to you. Now here.
Feed fear a suck it sandwich.
Yeah. So notice those things. You create your reality. Is that for sale? Yeah, it's somewhere. I'm sure you can Google it on the Googles. Yeah. But notice, you create your reality. Now, you don't create it in a vacuum. There's other things that totally affect it. But notice how much you can change in your reality with simply focusing on the words you use, noticing how they make you feel. If they make you feel good, then you're doing something. If they make you feel not good, you're not doing something. And playing around with the words in your head and how they are the marching orders to what you're doing in your life. Oh, that person's never going to talk to me. I'm goofy looking. Oh, I could never get into that school, so I'm not even going to apply. I can't afford that, so I'm not even going to go into that store. Maybe it was on the sale rack. I'm not going to go for that job because I don't have all of those qualifications. Isn't it crazy? You guys, I know we all know people in life who are so freaking clueless and have so much more in their life than we do. We think too much sometimes, and we cause that to stop us. There are people out there with half a brain that are out there doing all the things they want to do. Don't let the dummies have all the fun. Okay? Don't let your brain stop you. Let your brain encourage you. Let your words in your brain make you feel better. And then when you feel better and think better, you're inevitably going to do something better. If I listened to the naysayers in my head and in my life, I would not be showing up for you. I would not be here. I would be sitting in my house miserable, or like, well, I guess this is all there is. I'm feeling so good that I need to share it. You guys, this works. Here, every day for hours on a day, I show up to remind you of your possibility. Yes, the growth mindset, not the fixed mindset. And I grew up in a fixed mindset family, community, whatever. Do not, even if you did, you can change that. You can grow and you can change into the best version of yourself, the self that you love hanging around with. The house. Don't say just, oh, this is how it is. I've always been cluttered. I can't change. Yes, you can. Yeah. And Danielle says, yes, confidence is so important, but confidence is something, it's a skill. You have to work on it. And some days, your tank is going to vary. Some days you feel good. Other times you don't. This time last week, was I confident? Did I wear oh, I brought the wrong stuff. Oh, I should have worn something like that. Man, those guys look better than I do. Pa, 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 pa. And then saying, wait a minute, I'm cool the way I am. People love me. Enjoy the moment. Quiet down there, scared backseat driver. Everything's okay. All right. So we've just hit 11 a.m. I got to go see what's happening in the basement, but I offer this to you. Yay. I love it. Therapy Gal Sue says, thanks everyone. Started Sunday strong and off to do the day. See you tomorrow at the decluttering party before work. Yes. So here's what I'm going to do. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to make sure the basement's okay. I got to go pee. When I come back here, I'm going to upload the TikTok video. I'm going to start the June the June playlist on YouTube, and I'm going to set live the ticket the ticket links for all of the decluttering parties, including the one tomorrow morning. Okay. When I do that, I will send an email out to y'all. I wanted to wait until after the TikTok live and YouTube live in case anybody signed up for the mailing list. And if anybody here is not on my mailing list, it is a free mailing list. Please, 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 for your own sake, get on my mailing list. All right. And I'm also going to find out why there's a bug going around my house. All right. Okay. Love you guys, and I'll see some of you tomorrow. You got this. Have an awesome day. Okay. Bye. Yay, Mel Evans. Worked on the clutter on your dresser. Awesome.